Over the past several weeks, this cow and calf have occupied a lot of my time. And if you're new to the channel or if you're not familiar with what's going on here, let me try to summarize it real quick for you. Number 26 here, while being primarily a Black Angus cow, is an extremely heavy milker. So much so that this year when she had her calf, he ended up having a lot of trouble nursing off of her bag. One of her quarters was dry and the other one was plugged, and the other two were just too big and low for the calf to get on. So for the last couple of weeks, I've been getting the cow into the squeeze chute, milking her bag down, helping the calf get on her teats so that he could nurse, with the hopes that eventually everyone would become rehabilitated and ready to go back out onto pasture without any more help from me. And I think that day has finally come. For a long time, I said I wouldn't turn them out until I saw the calf nurse on her hindquarters, and I still haven't actually witnessed that happen. But I can look at her bag and I can tell that it's been happening. Not only that, I was supplementing the calf with the bottle, and now when I approach him with the bottle, he just runs away. So he's obviously not hungry because he knows that I'm offering him food, and he's just no longer interested in it. I've gone a couple days now without either milking her or giving him a bottle, and her bag seems to be nursed down and the calf is lively and healthy, maybe more so than he's ever been. So I think that we are in the clear with these two. Once we get done with that, I've got a big mess to clean up here that I made while installing the new Arrowquip chute, and I've got a little bit of fence that I need to put up and get a gate hung back, get this corral back and ready to work, because if there's time today, the plan is to run the yearlings through the Arrowquip, give them their vaccinations, get them branded, get them all ready to go to the steer pasture, because that needs to happen soon. That's the goal for today. We'll see how far we can get. That's what's going on today on Farmer Tyler Ranch. Come on, old boy. You need to get out of here. Come on. Do I need to get the paddle? You just don't move unless I have a paddle. Come on, come on. Little boy is a gentle soul. We probably should have named him Ferdinand, but he does respect a paddle, so that's good. Now that that's done, that's a big load off. That lightens my workload every day by a fairly significant amount. I need to open the gate back up to get in here because I'm hoping to catch the bulls come up here in the next few hours or so to either get some hay to eat or get a drink. And when they do, I'm gonna lock them in here, because when I get the yearlings moved up to where I can get them in the chute, they're gonna have to walk through this field that the bulls are out in now, and I don't want them getting together, because there are 3 heifers in there, and I'm sure those bulls would just love to meet them. I'm not planning to anchor this into the slab just yet. I wanna let the slab cure a little bit longer before I do that. But I do wanna stick some shims under this rear load bar so that the chute doesn't so that the chute doesn't teeter-totter when animals are in there. I'm mainly worried about this because it will affect the accuracy of the scale if things are moving around. We want this to be pretty much holding solid. A lot better. The chute feels solid now. All I did is I put an 1/8 inch shim on one of the rear corners, and then an 1/8 inch shim on one of the front corners. So not too bad, nothing like the old one was. I know I've mentioned before, the old one I think had over 1 inch of shims in the back corner and like a 1/4 inch shim here. It was a mess. Next thing we need to do is put this fence back up, so let's do that now. I thought it would be smart to put this top board on so that I know it's kind of holding the post where I want it before I put the dirt back in the hole and get everything packed in. So I can see it's about right here. So we can continue on. Except now the clamp's going to be in my way, isn't it? Here. Well, we're moving right along here, and normally I would just keep going, but I've noticed that all the bulls came up into the little corral. They're laying in the shade, so now would be a good time to catch them. Then I won't have to chase them in there. I'm looking at the clock, and I'm not sure I'm going to have time to get the yearlings through the chute today, but I'm going to go ahead and lock the bulls up anyway, so that if I do have time, I'm all ready to go. You guys just go back to what you were doing. I didn't mean to wake you up. Always best to work with the animals when you can. Okay, back to what we were doing. Well, with the new post in the exact same spot as the old post, the gate has somehow shrunk, and we've got a pretty, not a huge gap, but more gap on this side than we had before. In fact, the way it was before, the gate would hit this post and that would stop it, which was kind of nice. And I think the way it's going to be now, the gate will swing through. So this is good and bad. It's good because sometimes it would be more convenient to be able to open the gate that way than it would to open it this way. The reason that Grandpa had it set up this way, it was kind of as an insurance policy. Like if a cow tried to push through this gate, jump over the gate, whatever the case might be, that you had a post holding it rather than just a chain. Once I get the hinge pieces into the post, we might be able to adjust some of that out, but the ones that I got are not as long, because that was another thing that I wanted to address, which now thinking about it in hindsight, I should have known that this was going to happen, because I did want to move the gate hinge in a little bit. The old pieces were sticking out so much that they were prone to bending, as you saw with the one that I took out. So I wanted to have these up a little tighter so that the hinge pins wouldn't bend so bad. No pressure, but you have to get it perfect the first time. So because I don't have a 3/4 inch bit that is 6 inches long, I use my 1/4 inch long bit, and I'll drill essentially a pilot hole. Then I can come back in here with a 3/4 inch bit and drill it in on this side as far as I can, then get on the other side and drill it in on that side as far as I can, and then that should be all the way through. I mean, this is wood, so if it's not perfect, we can probably just pound that piece through, but that ought to get me pretty close. Looks like it'll work. Does not seem like it should be this hard, but it is. Okay. Got it there, finally. Okay. So that's working a little more like it's supposed to. A lot more like it's supposed to. Why was that bottom one so hard and this one was so easy? Take her for a spin. Well, I'm pretty happy with this. It really would be better if the gate was hitting that post like it used to be. I think, you know, it might just be one of those things that I'm freaking out just because it's different than the way it's always been. But all in all, I mean, I don't think this gate has ever sat this level, so that part's pretty good. And really, I don't think I've ever seen a cow try to jump out of this corner, and that kind of makes sense because, you know, in a cow's mind, if she's trying to get away from me, she's not going to jump out here to a place that she's never been before, because for all she knows, it's worse out there than it is in here. She would be a lot more likely to try to jump out the corral fence on this side and get back into an environment that she's familiar with. So having an animal jump here is not really what I worry about. But what does happen in this corner is when you're trying to peel off a couple cows to get them to go back into the tub, a lot of times they ball up in here. And what can happen is, you know, as they're getting against the fence tighter and tighter, they start pushing on this gate, and that's where you could have problems. Like if the chain broke or something, this gate would fly open and then they would all get out. So eventually what I plan to do is to move this fence that the gate hangs on out maybe like 2 or 3 feet to make this working corral a little bit bigger. And then because I do that and I gain that space, what I'll be able to do down here in the corner is angle this gateway more like this. So this isn't just a sharp corner, it's more of like a rounded corner. So basically this whole side of the working corral would be like one big arch or one big radius, and then you wouldn't have any corners where they're gonna get balled up and, you know, cause problems. Next, I think I need to start cleaning up in here. I've got a lot of tools out, a lot of stuff out just from all the different projects that have been going on in here. And now I'm pretty much done with all that stuff. So there's no reason to leave this mess out here any longer. The next area in this corral that really needs some attention is this rinky-dink setup we got going here. I've got plans of how I want to do this. It's a little bit less straightforward than just putting pipe fence in here, because I need to keep in mind that maybe one day I'll want to pull this chute out of there, and if that's the case, I can't have a permanent fence right here. So I've got to figure out something that's, you know, maybe just got like a removable section here, or however I might end up doing it. What I know for sure is that these panels gotta go. Well, we're getting a little bit too late in the day to try to work those yearlings, but I think I will kind of move everybody around so that the yearlings are easy to get to when I do get some time to work them here in the next couple of days. So what I'm gonna have to do is get the bulls in the bullpen, because I think when I walk the yearlings through the little field here, the bulls are gonna get real excited, and I'm not sure that little corral is gonna hold them. And as luck would have it, all the bulls are in the bullpen. Not sure they're gonna stay in here, but maybe they will. They'll stay now. Oh, of course I had to tie this. Well, that is what's so nice about that bullpen. This corral is a little iffy, but I know whoever I put in there is gonna stay there. And I see the yearlings are all down there laying by the gate I need them to go through, so this might be fairly simple. So far, things are working a little bit too good. So the plan will be to get the yearlings to run back down to the gate I just opened there and into the big corral. So we'll keep them in there while the bulls then go walk through this field and get down to where they are at now. It's a lot of moving around, but I think in the end, I'll be glad that I did this today, so that when I do have time to run these guys through, they'll just be right up here, convenient to catch. What's your deal? So far everybody's being cooperative, maybe a little too cooperative. Look where everyone else is going. Come on, kiddos. I don't think you want to eat that. Maybe you do. I call this stage, when they're yearlings, their teenage years, because they just kind of act like teenagers. They hang together, they get in trouble together, and they're just, you know, it's kind of hard to explain, but if you raise cattle, I think you know exactly what I'm talking about. Hey, you guys, look at the corner. There's an open gate. You're thinking the wrong way here. Go back the other way. Back the other way, I said. You're not going in there. Actually, you could go in there if you wanted. Is that how you guys want to do it? So I could get them if they go through this gate. I can just walk them on the back side of the hog barn there and get them in where I want them. They might be more likely to do that because they see the bulls over here and they might want to go say hi to them. So at this point, we got nothing to lose. We'll go on with them. Don't just stand here and cry to me. You know where the gate is. You guys spent all winter in here. Well, we got all but one, and it looks like he's coming. Well, I didn't expect it to go that way, but that'll work. Turns out they really missed eating that triticale, apparently, because they just went beeline right to that feeder. Kind of funny. When they're on hay, they can't wait to eat some grass. And when they're on grass, they can't wait to eat some hay. Well, now we can close this gate again. Ugh. Oh, that hinge is just not happy, is it? We'll open this one. This one over here. Open this one. And finally open this one. It's a lot of gates. Oh, you're just ready to come on in, aren't you? Okay. Let's get the rest of you too. Might be tough to get them off that feeder, and it might be tough to get them off the fence where the bulls are, but we'll do it. What are we balking at here? Come on. Go, 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 go. No. Why are we doing that? I'm just gonna put the bulls down in the backfield until I ship the yearlings out of here. There's plenty of feed down there, more than they can ever eat. And they've got a good buffer between them and the cows. So I don't think, knock on wood, I hope we're not gonna have any problems with them trying to get over to them. But they'll only be back there for a couple days, I expect. Once the yearlings ship out, then I'll just bring them right back in here where they're at. You guys will be happy to get out of here, won't you? Maybe too happy. Not that happy. There we go. This is probably going to be the hard part because they've been in this pasture and that gate has not been open. So in their mind, they're not going to expect it to be open now. But I'm hoping if I can just kind of get them down in that general area that they'll see it. Well, just go, man. Oh yeah, gotta do that. Got to do that. Okay. Yeah, I think the Bismarck calf sees it. Maybe the others will follow him through there. Come on, boys. Come on. Okay, little boy sees it too. There we go. I think we have success now. You guys remember what hot wire is? I hope so. If they don't remember what hot wire is, they will be reminded shortly. Well, I think they're excited. Okay, let's get the yearlings back in here. Most of them came through on their own, but it looks like there's still a couple up here at the feeder, so we'll shoo them out, close this gate, then I can open this gate back up so the cattle can get up here and, you know, eat hay. Their water's in here. They, you know, they got to be able to get in here. Back on out with you. There's a round bell where you're going. No, don't come back in here. Oh my gosh, this guy. You test patience, don't you? Go! Well then, go. This is not difficult, you guys. Get up. Get up, get up, get up. Thank you. Need some oil on that one. All is right with the world again. The calves are where I need them to be, the bulls are where I need them to be, and the cows are where I need them to be. So everybody can just settle down now and get acquainted with their new surroundings. And while I'm out here in the pasture, I figure we ought to walk down and check on the cow and calf that we turned out this morning. Just make sure everything's all right with them. Here's Mother right here. I'm sure you're doing fine, but where's your baby? Maybe she's gonna show me. I don't like you walking behind me. I think this is him clear down at the end. Hey little guy. How are you? Oh, he's so close. Well, that's really all I wanted to see today. Thanks for hanging out with me today, guys, and I hope I'll see you again on Farmer Tyler Ranch.